It's that time of the year again. The Navy Advancement exam cycle is upon us. If you're still in the Navy, like I was for 8 years, then you probably think a couple times a year, what can I do to better my chances of promotion? How can I do better on the exam? Ladies and gentlemen, there are plenty of honest and above-board things you can do to give yourself a much better shot at advancement the next time around. They're not always 100% the party line. Hey, Senior Chief, you didn't hear that. Okay. But they are honest, they are above board. Well, I'm here to share with you the techniques that worked for me, and they'll work for you, so that you can give yourself the best chance for advancement. My rate's not important. It will work for any rate. It will work for your rate. There are really two parts to this talk. The first is, are you really ready to promote? That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. If you want it, if you'll do the things that are necessary, you will promote. The second part of the talk is all about the things that you really have control over. The best preparation for the examination starts long before the examination, and it isn't exactly in the form of studying for your bibliography. The best method of preparation is actually to do the job, to have the requirements, and to physically go through those tasks, to be trained on them, of course, but to go through those tasks that you're going to be tested on when you do go up to take the examination. So take on those job responsibilities. Ask for the tasks. Ask for being taught how to do things. Now, we can't all learn every aspect of every job on the job. Now, the party line says pay no attention to your profile sheet. I'm here to tell you, yes, pay attention to your profile sheet. So your profile sheet is broken into several sections. Here you've got, a bit of administrative data, blah, blah, blah. You scored, maybe you're in the 50th percentile. You know what, this does not matter. Do not care. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe 12 items, the last of which is always professional military knowledge. And these will all be areas that are specific to your rate. So if it's boatswain's mate, it might be how to get a ship underway, it might be different things. You'll have a column here that is how many questions did you get right, and a column here that is how many questions were there. Maybe this one you got 5 right out of 6 questions. There's not a lot of money there. Maybe this one you got 10 right out of 20 questions. What that means is there's 10 more questions in that subject area that you could possibly score. And since all questions are worth the same amount, what you want to find out is some subject area with lots of questions in it where you didn't answer very many correctly. Study that topic. And why that topic? Not to exclusion, but make sure to put some extra emphasis on studying that topic. So go find in the bibliographies where you can learn about it. Why? Because that's where the money is. You'll find if you look at several of these, a few cycles in a row, out of 12 topics, probably 9 of them will repeat every time. The other 3 sort of rotate around. But the ones with a lot of questions, I promise you, that means they're important and they're going to be on the test next time. So the last thing I would tell you about testing specifically is that oftentimes what the question seems to be, it isn't exactly. A friend of mine tells me that they're on, say, the YN test. They're commonly fond of asking which is the correct form for X and such operation, and they'll give you options, and one of them will have a slash, and one of them will have a dash, and one of them will have a period. They're not actually looking to see whether you know really what form it is. They're really looking to see whether you know whether forms have a dash or a slash or a period in them. The same general idea applies in a lot of different circumstances. Anywhere that you can learn the pattern instead of the specific fact, you're giving yourself a huge advantage.
So there's a lot of confusion about just how exactly to find the bibliographies. The first thing I'm going to tell you is that you pretty much need to use Internet Explorer. I've had no luck with Chrome, and I've had no luck with Firefox. It's a bad idea to just search for Navy bibliographies in Google, because you're just going to get a bunch of unrelated sites that don't have the real thing. Where you want to go, start with NKO. You'll go here, you'll click into your NKO Access CAC Required. Make sure you pick not the email. No, I'm not going to tell you my PIN. The layout of NKO is changing all the time. For the time being, though, you'll find it under here. The main thing you're looking for is Navy Advancement Center. Click here, then usually it's pretty good. Click here, shortcut to bibliographies. Now let's say hypothetically I was going to take the test to become BM1. I would go over here, and let's say if I'm selected reserve, I'd go here. If I'm active duty, I'd go here. So I'm going to click here. And this is something that doesn't quite work. If you do not have Internet Explorer as your default browser, you're going to get this little cruddy thing down here. The workaround, we'll go ahead and save as. And yeah, that's a good place. We'll open the folder. And you'll notice what I mean by this won't work is by default it's going to pop up into whatever is your default browser. And mine is not going to work, as you can see. So I'm going to close that, right click. Can I open with Internet Explorer? Yes, I can. It works in Internet Explorer. There's boats it's made, okay? You're just going to have to learn how to read these guys. Most of what you need to know is the occupational references. The professional military knowledge references are, let me lay this out for you. If you're going up for third class, this is going to be a significant portion of your test. If you're going up for chief, it's going to be almost nothing. Like 25 questions out of 200. And there's a clear progression. So as you get higher in rank, you're going to be focusing more and more on your occupational references.
The last thing to say on the subject, it's a bit of a cliche, but choose your rate. If your rate is blocked up and you want to advance, talk to your career counselor and see if maybe you're in an overmanned rate, and see if there's maybe another undermanned rate that could use another man like you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these videos, if you think they're useful, do us all a favor. Share it far and wide. Send it to the 4 winds. Tell your friends, share on social media, give me that thumbs up in the space below. Let's get the message out.